Kansas's Thomas Robinson is used to being the man of the house. Growing up in Washington, D.C., it was just him, his mother Lisa, and his sister Jayla, who was 12 years younger.
It was definitely my mom and my sister. When Jayla came, I was definitely excited because that's my angel. That's my little baby.
While his mom worked, Thomas babysat his sister, and if he was out playing basketball, he would sometimes drop Jayla with his grandparents. But when Thomas grew into a 6'10" college prospect, he chose Kansas, far away from his family.
My mom was terrified of planes, terrified. And the change, her coming out of here, coming back out here to Kansas with me was kind of tough at the time.
Early in his sophomore year, December of 2010, Thomas's mother called to say his grandmother died. 2 weeks later, she called again with more bad news. His grandfather had passed away.
I'm not even over my grandmother yet, far from over it. And I get the call that my grandfather passed. Now I'm mad. I was sad some days. I didn't want to do anything.
He kept saying, I don't know how good my mom's doing, because mom was experiencing some health issues.
11 days later, the night before Kansas was to host Texas, Thomas's cell phone rang again.
My little sister was on the phone, crying. She told me that my mom had passed.
His mother had died of a brain aneurysm. In a span of 25 days, Thomas had lost 3 family members.
It was probably as hard a night as I've had as a coach, and he was just crying uncontrollably. And he looked at me and said, Coach, you don't understand. I don't have anybody. All I have is my sister.
That was my whole reason for breathing. And I just felt like somebody took it from me for no reason. I was up the whole night, and I just woke up with a whole different type of motivation. I want to get back on the floor. That was my escape. I showed up to a shoot around, and I told him I wanted to play.
Thomas Robinson's mom, Lisa, died last night. It is hard to imagine the grief in his heart.
I look around. Grown men, ladies, kids, students, little ones, and just tears.
Later that week, the entire Jayhawk team flew to Washington, D.C. for the funeral in support of Thomas and his sister.
There were a lot of reports out there. Jayla doesn't have anywhere to go. She's going to be an orphan.
Thomas wanted to bring Jayla back to Kansas with him, but her father, James Paris, who was not Thomas's father, had just been released from prison after serving 4 years on drug charges and requested custody of Jayla.
That's almost a lot of mixed feelings about him too, but he loves his daughter, and she loves him, so that's also something that I thought about, as far as me wanting to take my little sister right now. I can't do that because, she just lost a lot. It's not the best timing for it. Being away from her at the time is a sacrifice that I have to make.
So 1 week after his mother's death, Thomas left his sister in D.C. with James and returned for a home game against Kansas State.
From that point on, my whole purpose for playing basketball was different.
He was playing for much more than himself. He was playing for his sister.
Robinson, again! He's feeling good now. The Robinson show.
Thomas finished the year as Kansas's 6th man. This season, he's become Kansas's leading scorer and rebounder, Kansas's man of the house. Hoping again he will be Jayla's.
I just felt like I can't stop. Everything I do every morning, still for her, still for my sister. Nothing's gonna change.
Could be a really happy ending coming because Robinson's projected as a lottery pick in the NBA draft. He's a strong player of the year.